If you're looking to take your designs to the next level, using 3D text may be the answer you need. Today we're going to walk through how to create both the embossed and debossed text effects in Procreate. Now there are a ton of tutorials out there on how to do these effects, but a lot of them get really complicated, and I wanted to put together something that laid out the simplest and easiest way to do both of these effects. All right, here we are in Procreate. I'm going to go ahead and just create a new canvas. You can use any size you'd like. I'm going to just grab the square. Now the first thing we need to do is put some color on our background. You can just color drop that on there. And then we're actually going to turn this layer off. Come up here to your layers panel and just grab this little check mark and uncheck it. Now we need to put some text on top of this. You can either draw it yourself with a brush or you can use a font. I'm going to grab a font here in my wrench, which is the action menu. And you're going to go to add and add text. I'm going to just use the words emboss and deboss to make this really easy. Now this effect does work better with thicker text, so I'm going to double tap on this and go into my font menu and just choose something that's a little bit thicker. And then I'll just spread these out a little bit so we can see the effect a little bit better. I can take up more of the page. Okay. Spread that out the text box. Okay, perfect. Now we need our other word as well. If you are drawing it yourself, just go ahead and add a new layer. If you have used text, go ahead and come to your layers panel, swipe to the left to duplicate, and then you can double tap and just change this to the other word. If you're following along, deboss. Grab your transform tool and slide that down. So now we've got both of our words here. If you chose to use a font instead of drawing text out yourself, at this point we need to rasterize it. It's a big fancy word that basically just means we're going to turn it into a shape instead of text. This will allow us to continue to do the other fancy text effects to it later on. In order to rasterize these, we just need to come to the layer and choose rasterize. And now you can see that this is a shape instead of being actual text. Go ahead and do that on the other one as well. And now we will be able to apply these effects. For the emboss word, we're going to duplicate this twice. Go ahead and swipe to the left to duplicate. You always want to be duplicating the original. You'll have less image degradation that way. Swipe to the left again to duplicate. I like to keep my layers panel really nice and clean and organized, so I'm going to group these by multi-selecting. You have your first one highlighted here. Go ahead and swipe to the right on the other two, and then you can choose group. We need to have basically a highlighted version and a shadow version of both of these. To make our shadow version, go ahead and select the bottom one, and we're going to alpha lock this. You can either tap on it and choose alpha lock, or I like the shortcut of 2-finger swipe to the right. You should see this checker box pattern behind the shape. Come up to your color wheel here, double tap anywhere close to black and you will get solid black. Choose your layer and fill layer. Then you're going to turn alpha lock back off. To create your highlight layer, go ahead and select this one in the middle. We're going to come up here to the magic wand. That's your adjustments menu. Choose the first one called hue, saturation, and brightness. We're going to take this up to around 60%. Now that we've prepped our text that's going to be embossed, looks like it's raised up off of the page, we're going to prep the text that's going to be debossed and look like it's going to be pressed into the page. Then we're going to go back to both of these and make the magic happen. You need 2 copies of this as well, but we're going to do it a little bit differently. Make sure that you've highlighted that layer, and then we're going to come up here to our selection tool. Now a couple of things here. You want to make sure that color fill is turned off, so it should be white, not blue. And you want to make sure that you have automatic as your selection method. Then you're just going to tap on your letters until you get all of them selected. They should turn into the opposite color. Then come down here and choose invert. Basically, we want to select everything outside of the actual letter forms. Come back to your layers panel and we're going to add a new layer on top of this. And we do want it to be the same color as the paper, so go back into your history and grab that. Add the new layer and choose fill. Now we have a fill of that selection we just made. We need one more copy of this, so we're going to swipe left to duplicate. Let's go ahead and group these as well. This bottom one needs to be a shadow. We're going to alpha lock, 2-finger swipe right, choose black, fill that, and turn the alpha lock off. This one is also going to be highlighted, so we're going to come back here to our magic wand, choose hue, saturation, and brightness, and go back up to about 60%. All right, now we've got everything in place. Let's go ahead and make some magic. Let's turn our background back on. We're actually going to clip these two to this shape. So go ahead and select that layer and choose Clippy Mask, Clippy Mask. Now we pretty much can't see anything on this page. You can see a little tiny bit of the highlight here. We're going to do the embossed word first. Select the highlight layer, come up here to your transform tool, and we're going to move this up and to the right. You can either actually move it, or I like to just tap in that direction. You get a little more control this way. And you can choose how much you want to move it. This is going to affect how popped out it looks from the page. Then with your shadow, you're going to go the opposite way. So you can see that effect showing up. Pretty cool. But it looks a little bit harsh. We're going to soften that by using a blur. In your magic wand, your adjustments menu, come to Gaussian blur, and then you're just going to slide across the page until you get the effect that you like. Right now we're blurring the shadow. We're going to go ahead and blur this highlight as well. And now you'll see that effect where it really looks like it's popping out of the page. Pretty cool. For the debossed text, we're actually going to take them in the same direction. Because we've done these cutouts a little bit differently, this is what's going to create that effect. So go ahead and select the highlight, come to your transform tool, move that up and to the right. And even though we're moving it up and to the right, you're seeing it show up in the bottom left. That's because of that shape that we created. For the shadow, we're also going to move it down and to the left. But you'll see it appear in the top right. A little counterintuitive. And then we're going to blur these as well. You'll get that nice 3D effect. Look at that. I think that's so neat. This last step is optional, but I think it gives it a really nice, realistic looking effect. We're going to add a digital paper texture to our design. Go ahead and collapse that other group. Now we can go ahead and add our paper texture on this empty layer that we have here. Grab it and just drag it up to the top. I've provided one paper texture for you at the link in the description if you want to grab that. You can also get or make your own. Just make sure that it is in grayscale and that it has a pretty high contrast. Those are the ones that tend to work the best. I'm going to go to my wrench and choose Insert a File. If you have it in your photos, then you would insert a photo. Mine is in my files. It's this linen paper. And the key is to just make sure that it's covering your entire canvas, like that. And then we're just going to change the blend mode. So for this one, overlay tends to work pretty well. You can play around with it and see what you like. And there you go. You have a realistic looking paper texture on top of your embossed and debossed text effects. I hope you found that helpful. I love showing people how to combine creativity and technology on this channel. If you enjoyed it, I would appreciate it if you give me a quick thumbs up down below. It really helps out my small channel and tells YouTube that more people should watch this. I would love to see what you make with this technique, so make sure that you share your designs with me on Instagram. Tag me at Lori Russell Design. If you want to explore some more ways to get creative with your lettering, make sure you watch this video next.